Hello, this is Old Man with a Plan again. I'm in my garage today. It's Sunday. I'm just kind of doing a little bit of work for my camp up north. I had some problems with my hitch to my pull behind lawnmower. It's a Swisher, and it was the bolts were kind of rounding out on me. If you can see these bolts right here, how they're rounding out, and it's causing it to loosen up all the time. This isn't the best tubing. It's okay, but I tighten it down and then it loosens up and then it gets loose and it bangs and pangs. So I'm trying to figure out how to get it a little bit more stationary. So what I did is I made a pattern of the hitch itself, what it bolts onto, and this is what the pattern looks like. As you see, there's a bunch of holes so you can put this at an angle. I'll never use the angle. I just straight pull behind my quad. And this is the pattern I made from it. I just put it down below it and just used a marker and marked the holes where they went. And this is what I came up with. It's a piece of steel, which was scrap steel, which somebody was throwing away, which I decided to keep, use it. And what I'll do is weld it onto this, like this. And then that way, I'll use the bolt holes to hold it steady. I'll weld it in the back here. That way I can bolt it and I'll have more area to bolt to. I'll be able to get these nuts here because it's another flat plate below it, nice and tight, and that should strengthen up that whole assembly there. So now I'm gonna have to do some grinding and get it ready to weld. First of all, I'm not a great welder. And so I'll do the best I can. I'm kind of just one of those guys that like to play around in the shop, and I do all kinds of different things. If I do some videos, you'll see lots of different things. I'm always doing something different. I'm not really an expert on anything, but I like to keep busy and always trying to make improvements and always trying to improve the yard or other things. But so I'm gonna get started here. As you see, I have my mask or my shield on. I'm gonna put some gloves on. An old man like myself, I certainly don't want to get hurt. And good, I have the same type of glove. These ones won't work. Yeah, these ones will work a little better. Now I'm welding this on top, so I want to make sure I get these edges far enough back here, because the weld will go right here. That was a shaft. You see that's going to have to bolt down there. So that needs to be ground on both sides. I'll just clamp that real tight on there. Okay, said this will go on like this. Whoops. On like this. And what I'll do is I'll use bolts to hold it in the right place. And these are just to hold in place while I do some welding. Being as these holes were a little bit rounded out from it wobbling, because once it gets loose it wobbles, I am going to try to make sure that first set of holes is the same distance on each side. Doesn't have to be exactly, but I like it close anyhow. I'm getting about 2 inches to the middle of the hole right there, and not quite the middle. See if we can split the difference here a little bit. 2, and that's real close to being the same from both sides. Now I need to tighten it down. Tighten it down loosely. I'll hold this place. And I can crank her down a little bit more. Measure again. And that'll work. Now, naturally, I'm not the greatest welder, but I'm going to flip it upside down so I'm welding on a flat spot, which will make it a lot easier. You can see the weld should go here and here. And then when I put this on, it should lock it into place. Now I'm gonna have to set up my welder. Okay, now I measured the thickness of this. It's about 3/16. I really didn't need that thick, but that's what I had. I set the welder up. I ran a little bit of a bead on a scrap piece just to make sure it was going to take okay. And now I'm gonna try to give it a weld. And as I said before, I'm not the greatest welder, but I do try, and like I said, a lot of it's just to keep busy and do what I need to do. And hopefully this will shore that little problem I had out. Now, I have to wear some goggles or glasses underneath even these, because at my age, my eyesight isn't the best. I'm going to go ahead and start welding, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, now first was just hacking it into place. Could be a little better, but like I said, I'm just trying to glue it together really here. Not too bad of a bead. After being an amateur, I'm quite good. I'm satisfied, but this bead looks a little better. I think I got a little bit of a hurry on that side. So I'll slow down again and try to finish this bead up to this hole. And then I'll take. Well, the weld looks pretty good for me. Granted, I'm not a professional welder, and I'm sure a real welder will look at this and say, eh. But I know one thing, it ain't coming off. I'm going to grind up some of the stuff on it, and then I'll give you guys a close-up on it. There's the weld. Like I said, not the prettiest. It's not too bad for me. I certainly had worse welds, but like I said, it will hold, and I'll grind her up a little bit more and pretty it up just a touch before I paint it up. Better, like I said, if it's better welder, could probably get it, make it look even better, and wouldn't take as much grinding as I had to do. But there it is, and like I said, it will hold. This was kind of step 2. Step 1 was to make the pattern I had, make the steel. Step 2 was to weld it on there and paint it. Step 3 would be to take it up to where my mower is and try to put it on and see how it all works. That will be coming soon. Okay, being as these bolts were just to hold it on, I'm going to take them off so when I spray paint it, I get some paint down inside there. Hello, this is Man with the Plan. I'm up here on my campsite. I'm actually getting ready to attach the weld job I did to try to strengthen out the hitch on this Swisher. Now this is my Swisher pull behind mower. It's a country cut 44 inch. You can see it right there. It's 11.5 horsepower. I like it. It cuts okay. I'm just cutting some rough stuff up in here. Now if you remember correctly, there is my pattern. Here's the pattern that I had made, and as you see, it kind of fits right in there. That's right there's how I made it. I just took a marker and marked everything. There's the plate welded on to my hitch. Now I'm going to attach it to my Swisher, and it should be good to go at that point. Okay, I'm going to attach it and make sure all the bolts and everything line up, and this should strengthen my hitch up quite a bit. I like to pull it out more in the sun to give you guys a better view, but it's hard to move around without the hitch end of it, so that's kind of why I went this route. A little hard to hold right there in place. It looks like the holes are matching up very, very well. For the pattern, I'll make sure I get them all started before I tighten them down. The middle two actually have a locking nut on them. These two, I am putting a locking washer on them. And I can tighten these two and draw the other one up. Whoops, forgot to put the locking washer on this one. Okay, it came out to be a very nice fit. What was happening when I tightened these two middle bolts here, it would tighten up, but it would the tubing would start to collapse over time, and then that would cause these to loosen up, and I'd get a lot of banging. With these two bolts here on the side on this little part I welded on, it gives me a lot more of a position there. It will take there. It won't move around. A lot more area for it to hold on to. And that metal there won't collapse or anything else. So this should really be good and strong, really strengthen up the hitch. The only thing that might happen now is I might bend the shaft because this is going to be so solid. But that should be about it. Like I said, I'm pleased with the way it came out. The pattern matched exactly. The weld's decent. It looks good. It looks like it belongs. If I wanted to go to the side, the way I drilled the holes, I still could. But everything turned out well. I'll probably be using this in the next couple of weeks, as I have a little bit of a field. My camp is a little over 5 acres, so I have a lot of high grass area that's not really mowable, except by one of these rough cuts. It doesn't do a pretty job, but it keeps it down a little bit. And once again, if you like this video, please feel free to like, share it, and subscribe. I do appreciate your viewing, and it's been nice talking to you all. Hope to see you next time. This is the old man with the plan. Bye-bye.